Hi, and good Thursday. As always, so thankful you had a little time to spend with us this evening to find out what's happening in and around our area, and indeed a lot is. In fact, our programming schedule has somewhat shifted here in the last little bit. a good downpour with the top off of your Jeep unexpectedly will kind of make you shift your schedule, as will a couple of arrests. Actually, one arrest this afternoon that relates to a case that I have been watching now for a couple of weeks, and it is technically a shoplifting case, but by no means is it just a shoplifting case. I've got the video to show you. I've got a report about two men which were being sought for weeks that police have been searching for, and others like myself have been keeping their eye out for. Well, they were found today, but only one was apprehended. We've got 3 indictment cases that saw sentencing earlier today in Magoffin Court. I've got your school board coverage wrapping up from the Magoffin Board of Ed night before last, I guess, in regards to tonight's coverage, them struggling with tax rates and what they're going to do to try to make up for lost funds. And I've also got a traffic stop last night that netted not 1, but 3 fugitives from another state and some other serious charges. That investigation, too, ongoing, and we'll cover all of that. And we're also kind of doing so as some of this is just coming together at this hour. So bear with me for the next half hour, as I often ask you to do, and sometimes unsaid. Fall officially starts 4:02 tomorrow, and nowhere is it in the forecast. Finally, after a few unexpected showers, well, not totally unexpected, we knew we had a chance going into today, and it was completely hit and miss. A really nice downpour here at the newsroom in downtown Sagersville, and at the same time, as soon as you got up towards the parkway, it made a left at the light. It was dry as a bone and stayed that way. So not everyone's seeing that, but we're all going to see summer-like weather into the first week of fall. Temperatures into the 80s tomorrow through your weekend. And in fact, I know I've said this for days, and we've had a few scenarios like today where shower chances did kind of perk up. I don't have any of those in your forecast. And in fact, between now and next Tuesday, we've got low to mid-80s. By Wednesday, we're still going to hold on to the low 80s and sunshine. Thereafter will be a slow start maybe to a big turnaround weather-wise, and I'll get to all that in more detail in just a few moments. Real quickly, a few words from a few of our sponsors. Please, every chance you get, let them know you're watching, and headlines will start next.
Hi, I'm Attorney Jeff Lovely. At my law office, we're determined to offer you and your family outstanding, cost-effective, and responsive legal services. I can help you if you've been injured in a car wreck. I'll be in your corner if you have a DUI or other criminal charges. To file bankruptcy and stop those harassing phone calls, or I'll fight for you and your children in divorce and custody cases. For all your legal services, contact me when it matters. In Syersville at 349-4522, and West Liberty at 743-1965.
Much more than diesel specialist, Black Smoke Performance is turning out excellent auto body collision paint and repair results with free quotes and estimates on everything from insurance jobs to that ding you got in the driveway. Custom lift kits, bed liners, winches, and accessories, and full diagnostics and repair on anything gas or diesel, from brakes to fluid changes to major auto repair. If you want it fixed, lifted, painted, customized, or just maintained, just call on the team at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville, 100 May Drive, or 349-8785. Wanting you to have a healthier life means providing access to quality, affordable health care. And to do exactly that, Hope Family Medical Center offers full dental care with Dr. Pratt and his team, a pediatrician team of 3 doctors and nurses and moms, complete health care by family physician Dr. Kelly Pratt and nurse practitioners Mildred Sizemore, Gail Faria, Shannon Conley, and Heather Blair. Behavioral health services with Kimberly Davis, with in-house lab testing and results, in-house x-ray, and pharmacy, and all the caring, knowledge, and experience that these medical professionals represent
at Hope Family Medical Center.
A tire more than 25% low, about 8 pounds, makes you 3 times more likely, and worn-out tires 11 times more likely to be in a tire-related crash. Don't take your or their safety for granted. Come in for a free inspection, 6 months no-interest financing, the best price and best selection at Conley Tire in Staffordsville. Parkway Pharmacy, now open earlier from 8 a.m. until 6 in the evening to better suit your schedule and lifestyle, and to help you get better and live a healthier life. And if allergies are bogging you down, they're armed with the very best in over-the-counter relief for adults and your children. Reach owner pharmacist Jesse Rudd and his assistant pharmacist Megan Castle and their staff at 8 o'clock in the mornings or at 349-4400. The only difference in these washers and mowers from new is the incredible low price, and the same goes for tools, electronics, jewelry, games, and more at Parkway Gun and Pawn, where they buy and sell gold and silver and loan cash every day on just about anything worth $1. Stop by on Parkway Drive or call 349-PAWN. It's a case that I've been watching now for a couple of weeks. We've had some video, in-house surveillance video, taken of a shoplifting event, if you will, here in Sagersville at a local business. It's unlike anything that you have seen, I do wholeheartedly believe. Authorities opened the case a couple of weeks ago and have been waiting to apprehend 2 of the suspects. They had some extenuating circumstances in which they were waiting to catch the individuals at the right time and the right place. Authorities were notified after managers within the Dollar General store here in Sagersville became aware of a theft, and not your average theft either. What you're looking at is not a stock person, even though it appears as though maybe it was someone employed at the Sagersville Dollar General on Parkway Drive. It also would maybe even more so, considering that it's a person putting a large quantity of merchandise into a buggy, that it may be a shopper buying in bulk. Neither of which are correct. And while it is correct to say that this is a shoplifting case, it's hard to classify it as that. The majority of shoplifting cases are people who steal by placing small or quantity of small items in a bag, in a purse, in their pocket, something of that nature. This is a full-blown theft of thousands of dollars of merchandise that was stolen by actually 2 men, even though there's only one seen in the video. The other is believed to be an accomplice outside. It happened a couple of weeks ago here at the Sagersville Dollar General, as I said, on Parkway Drive. The Kentucky State Police, which is investigating, specifically Trooper Jimmy Stratton, says it is by far unlike any other shoplifting case he has ever seen, and certainly not average.
They entered the store, it looked like possibly about 8 o'clock, and didn't leave until after 10 o'clock. They loaded up several buggies, staged them in different areas in the store. When the girls there working wasn't looking, they shoved the baskets out, or the carts outside. I mean, there's several $1,000s worth of merchandise taken. It's not a normal shoplifting case by all means.
What you're looking at is video of one of the suspects still on the run, identified as Stevie Gibson, who, after spending 2 hours in the store, as you heard Trooper Stratton say, loaded up totes full of merchandise, putting them into buggies. The one buggy you saw was literally heaping head high after he used bungee cords taken from the shelves to strap all the merchandise down. He then re-enters the store numerous times, grabs numerous other shopping carts, and proceeds to steal basically anything and everything. Everything from pop to diapers to electronics, phone chargers. And I'm not even sure if they know exactly what all has been taken at this point, but certainly thousands of dollars worth of merchandise in all. In all, he was in the store 2 hours. There were 2 employees inside. Video shows them in different parts of the store at all times, with a couple of occasions in which he appeared to ask one employee a question of some sort of nature. And just before closing, he starts making trip after trip after trip outside the store, believed to be to his accomplice, which was apprehended today. Jeff Marshall and the man you just saw, Steve Gibson, are believed or considered to be homeless, and for weeks, possibly even months, have been known to be staying or spending a lot of their days and or nights at the old abandoned nursing home across from the True Value on Parkway Drive. Police have been watching the area for days, hoping to catch the 2 together so that they wouldn't have one on the run for quite some time. Earlier today, Montgomery County Sheriff's Deputy Jonathan Holbrook encountered both walking down the sidewalk in that area near Little Caesars and approached them and was able to capture and take into custody Jeff Marshall, believed to be the other man responsible for the crime, 44 of Sagersville. He was lodged in the Big Sandy Detention Center on charges of possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, and the theft by unlawful taking charge of under $10,000, which obviously makes it a felony. While 40-year-old Steve Gibson eluded another deputy on foot. He is described as being approximately 40 years of age, and this picture not being completely accurate as he has now bleached his hair blonde. He stands about 6 feet, weighs about 190 pounds, and the state police and local authorities are hopeful that in the coming days someone will see him or have information about his whereabouts and forward it to them.
Absolutely. Please call either the State Police Post 433-7711 or the McGoffin County Sheriff's Office if you know the whereabouts of Stevie.
As for any other arrests, Stratton says the investigation is certainly ongoing. There are still further interviews to conduct and other individuals to question, and possibly other arrests that may come out of that as well. I'll be right back.
We are all human. Because we're not perfect, we tend to make mistakes. Unfortunately, some mistakes are severe and carry more consequences than others. If you have been hurt in a car wreck, a truck wreck, or because of someone's mistake, reckless or careless behavior, you deserve help with your medical expenses, lost wages, and serious permanent pain and injuries that you have been made to suffer and will continue to suffer for the rest of your life. If you have been injured, I can help. I'm attorney Don Wayne McFarland. Call me and let me go to work for you. 349-9000.
They're rolling out big, beautiful truck bodies every day, the best America makes in steel and aluminum, with their largest ever local stock of angle, sheet, round, I-beam, expanded, steel, and aluminum in several different finishes for whatever you're working on. And if the dump body you're driving needs parts, they've got them in stock. And if you need a big project fabricated from scratch, they've got you covered at Logan in Salyersville since 1904.
Oh, the sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home.
The sun bathes us in the power of its warm glow and brightens our world. Now it can power your life. Cooperative Solar brings you hassle-free solar power from your local Kentucky Touchstone Energy Cooperative. Renewable, affordable, easy. Licking Valley RECC's Cooperative Solar. Join the community, cooperativesolar.com.
McGoffin County Board of Education met earlier this week. I covered a large portion of that in a special setting, if you will, for a lot of folks who were very deservedly so recognized. Tonight, we'll focus on the business end of things, where a large portion of the meeting night before last, centered around discussion of tax rates, setting property tax rates. It's that time for all taxing districts. All taxing districts are seeing a dire situation, and the same across the board. For the McGoffin County Board of Education, it's compounded by other economic problems or issues that we have covered here, and I think I've done a pretty good job of covering here over the past several weeks. We'll pick it up, though, with some other business and actually start with just some basic information, first of all from their financial officer, and then attendance rates from their director of pupil personnel. Financial Officer Kevin Owens said that they are currently undergoing their annual audit for the school district, and also says, referring to insurance, that October the 9th will signal the opening of the mandatory enrollment period for insurance for all school employees. With their new policy to take effect later on in January, each employee will have an opportunity to choose one of several plans that they desire, and if not, the state will choose one for them. Director of Pupil Personnel Terry Watson says that in regards to attendance rates, it's a good and bad scenario. Two schools, North McGoffin and Sagersville Grade School, are well over 97%, or just at or over 97%. For the district, however, it's a 94.41% district-wide, which is actually the same exact attendance rate that they saw last year, knowing that attendance rates tend to wane from this point further, and certainly after the holidays. He says that in an effort to combat tardiness or poor attendance, all Harold Whitaker Middle School and McGoffin County High School students with 3 unexcused absences will be meeting with officials.
The last few days I've been working on pre-complaint meeting, getting it scheduled. Every student that has 3 or more unexcused absences at the middle school and the high school will be meeting with Alicia Allen. Possibly we're going to try to get Judge Prater involved with it, and Brandon Napier, and we're going to bring those students in and kind of inform them what the law is as far as truancy in the state of Kentucky. And hopefully that motivation will persuade some of them to attend more regular and do better with their attendance. If not, I've talked to Brandon and Alicia. We're going to start filing some truancy on those students. We already have some that after the pre-complaint meeting, if they miss one more day after that, we're going to start filing truancy on them, because there are already some that it's justified to start moving those truancy diversion cases onto Brandon and Alicia.
Going on to his report, Superintendent of Schools Scott Hilton noted that the fall break is still, of course, on the calendar this year for October the 5th, 6th, and the 9th. That's a long weekend of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, obviously, and Monday being off. And then he and others discussed at length, and will not relay much of that discussion tonight because I've covered it on several occasions thus far, but the many factors that they are facing in these hard economic times. Faced with taking a compensating rate, which would take the tax rate to 60.8 cents per every $100 of valuation. They also could take what is the state maximum allowed 4% increase, which would be 63.2 cents per every $100 of valuation. With all in agreement that none of them wanted to pass all of their hard times that have been imposed on them greatly from the state and the federal government on to the taxpayers.
We know as public servants that there's only 2 options when it comes down to this. Now that being said, if there's something out there that he's willing to help us with, that's what I want, and that's what I'm gonna try to find out. But now your 45 days are close, so
How much time do we have?
You got about 5 days after this, so you got to be something by the end of the week. Give me a couple of days to kind of get some things, notes, and find out if I can find out anything. And I may not be able to give you any answers, but I will do my best to try to find some for you before you actually take a vote.
Answers about their loss in revenue from the unmined mineral tax rates, the 17.4% budget cut that the governor says they're going to make, which equates to $70 million for the Kentucky Department of Education. Retirement rates, which I went over in great detail earlier this week as well. In the end, there was a motion to table setting tax rates until or allowing Superintendent Hilton to reach out to the Kentucky Education Commissioner on yesterday. And then in doing so, they actually set a special session for 5 o'clock today to address setting property tax rates. I, of course, have a camera there at that meeting, and we'll have a report following tomorrow to see what they decided or how they decided to proceed and what rates indeed will be. I'll be right back.
There's no better time than now to get the Android smartphone of your choice from Appalachian Wireless. All Androids up to $50 off regular price all this month. The Samsung GS8 was $149.99, now just $99.99. The LG G6, normally $99.99, is now only $49.99. And believe it or not, you can get the Galaxy S7 for only $1 with 2-year agreement while supplies last. Better service, bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless, an East Kentucky network company.
Well, you've been asking for them, and they're finally here. A huge new selection of bourbon and bow ties, many classic bangles and new designs, earrings, necklaces, and little bourbons and bow ties for the little ones. The best selection they've ever had. And their fall decor is some of the best they've ever had too, and that's saying a lot. Gorgeous fall colors to warm your home from the front door to the Thanksgiving table. You simply must stop in and see everything inside the seasonal shop in downtown Sayersville.
Home energy use is on the rise. Every year, new devices, more devices. We are using more energy. Simple Saver helps you trim peak energy usage and pays you for being energy smart. You can receive up to $50 in annual bill credits. Over the years, the savings really add up with Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperative's Simple Saver. Licking Valley RECC, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Like our 100% safe and secure mobile banking app at Sayersville National, we're always working to make your life a little easier. And our mobile deposit feature gives you more freedom and more time to do what you love the most. Just open the app, confirm the amount, and click. You're done. A safe, no-hassle way to manage your money from anywhere in the... Well, you get the drift. Now get the app at Sayersville National Bank. 349-3131. Go green, save some green on this propane-powered 11-passenger Ford Econoline. And check out the under 5K specials right now. This 2011 Malibu remote start loaded, very affordably priced at $49.95. This 010 S10 low miles, low to the ground, $49.95. This 07 Saturn Relay hauls a crowd, $49.95. Call today for quick pre-credit approval, $0 down, low income approval, and most payments under $200 a month at Gateway Motors in Sayersville, 349 cars.
Making his rounds last night, Sayersville police officer Mike Nichols pulled a vehicle over for a traffic stop conducted for a reason of the vehicle pulling out of a Sayersville gas station when driving down 114 without any headlights. Upon initial stop of that vehicle just a few hundred yards later, he immediately became suspect of those inside. He was assisted on scene by Sayersville police officer Josh Peace, arriving only seconds later. And out of the 5 individuals and 1 small baby inside the car, 3 were said to be fugitives from another state. The driver and mother was taken into custody, and the investigation still continues.
Of the 5 adults, several, 2 or 3 at least, had no driver's licenses in their possession. And upon being questioned by Nichols, they appeared to be giving them false information. And upon running that information through dispatch, it didn't come back or register as anyone. After further inquiry and interrogation, if you will, on the side of the Mountain Parkway, they gave them correct numbers that revealed that 3 of them were actually wanted, fugitives considered to be out of the state of Virginia for several serious and mostly drug-related charges. In fact, 3 out of the 5 adults were fugitives from Virginia, with Virginia extraditing them back to the state to face those charges. There was parole violations, drug charges, and the like. The driver was charged with DUI and gave consent to search the vehicle, after which officers found a coffee can, they found needles, they found pills, they found a pipe. Inside, they found other items as well, and they charged 4 of the 5. The only one that was not charged was the father of the small baby, who had just turned 18 and had no criminal record, and officers believed no indication as to what was in the car or what was going on. The driver, Loretta Fuller, 45, with an address of Dana, Kentucky, was charged with driving under the influence and careless driving and taken to the Big Sandy Jail. While Santana Sloan, 31, with a Feds Creek address, was charged as being a fugitive from another state. I'm still trying to ascertain exactly what the fugitive charges were, but we do have, as I said, a pretty good description that they were either drug-related and or parole violations. 38-year-old Robert Tomlinson, 38 of Feds Creek, was charged with possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, and he was one of the 3 fugitives from Virginia. One of those arrested had a Sayersville address identified by jail records as 28-year-old Michael Sloan, charged with possession of a controlled substance in the 3rd, possession of drug paraphernalia, and for being a fugitive from Virginia. With that investigation still underway by Officer Nichols. Turning on to other headlines tonight, 3 sentences were handed down earlier today in Magoffin Circuit Court, all related to previous indictment warrants or cases that came through the Magoffin County court system. LaVesta Reisner was indicted after a case began on her for possession of a controlled substance and methamphetamine, facing up to 5 years, I believe, on the felony count. She was sentenced to 3 years, but that sentence to be diverted. She was also ordered and agreed to enter into the SMART program. It is through the drug court, I believe, or a similar institution, but a more intense version. But nevertheless, her 3-year sentence diverted pending any other future criminal activity or drug activity. Mark Stephen Brown was also indicted by the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department. Deputy Neil Adams, I can recall, opened the case after Brown was accused and found to be mailing packets or packages of Suboxone strips to Sagersville from the state of Virginia. Facing 5 years, he was sentenced to 180 days in home incarceration for that charge of trafficking in a controlled substance. And Thomas Price, who has still a great deal of cases before him, was sentenced on one, a stolen motorcycle. I believe that case opened by Kentucky State Police Officer Jimmy Stratton. He was to serve 365 days concurrent as ordered by the judge with a 4-year sentence out of Pike County that he is also, I believe, currently serving. He still has a charge or a case from Sagersville where he had stolen checks from the Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe, where those checks were written in Johnson County. More charges filed there for which he has been indicted. And then there's also the serious charges in which he eluded authorities and was charged with serious charges, fleeing and evading, menacing, resisting arrest, and other charges as he was involved in an auto accident trying to elude authorities after he'd escaped authorities while being booked into the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center about a month or two prior. And out of Johnson County, we have this from the Johnson County Sheriff's Department. In other arrest-related news, yesterday afternoon around 1 o'clock, deputies Byron Fairchild and Jesse Mullins were conducting a traffic safety checkpoint at 201 when an 04 Hyundai black sedan approached that was driven by Rebecca Clark out of Louisa. Upon first contact, the deputies said that she appeared to be highly under the influence, possibly of methamphetamine, which gives off certain or finite characteristics of being under the influence when individuals are. She failed all field sobriety tests, and needle marks were found on her arms. And a search of the vehicle was done by Clark, asking several times if there were any needles inside the car for fear of being stuck. She advised the deputies there were not, but after searching the vehicle, a used hypodermic needle with the cap gone was found inside a compartment of the vehicle. The needle facing outward could have easily stuck the deputies' hands had they not been extra cautious. Also inside the vehicle, other needles were found, along with a hollowed-out light bulb that you just saw made into a meth pipe. The case is still under investigation by deputies, but Clark, who is 38 from Louisa, was charged with driving under the influence, as well as wanton endangerment of a police officer, menacing, several traffic violations as well, possession of drug paraphernalia, and the case goes on. The Johnson County Sheriff's Department wants to remind everyone, if you have any knowledge of any drug or illegal activity, to call them at 789-3411, and you can and will remain anonymous. Going on, I ran them all yesterday, as you saw if you were here, a host of community calendar announcements, all for big events, mostly coming up later on this weekend. Due to time constraints and the late breaking news that we worked into the program this evening, I'll forego those calendar announcements to remind you about all of them tomorrow, with one reminder right now that if you want an announcement on the program, this is how you get it to us. We say that going on to for this evening's funeral service announcements, sponsored by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. I have actually two partial service announcements this evening, and actually both have been forwarded to us from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. And the first is in honor of 89-year-old Oma S. Reisner of Lexington, who passed away today. Arrangements are still being made and incomplete at this hour, but to be announced soon by the family and the funeral home. And 81-year-old Andrew Rao of Royalton passed away earlier today at his home. Arrangements to in his honor incomplete and being arranged by the family and to be announced soon on behalf of the McGoffin County Funeral Home and Mr. Rao's family. Going on to your weather forecast, I am fortunate in the respect that I don't have much time for it and don't need much time for it. It's simply gorgeous. Fall starts tomorrow, 4:02 in the p.m., but we'll be right in the middle of a summer-like day. 63 tonight, mostly clear. Look for some fog and a lot of sun and pretty much mostly clear skies across the board for days on end. It's going to be a nice weekend. 83 and sunny for your Friday, 84 and sunny for your Saturday. Don't forget about that morning and late night fog. And don't forget high pressure to thank as well. 85 degrees on your Sunday, 59 for the low, and that's going to be ditto for your Monday. We'll have 80s into early next week, maybe even as far as Wednesday. Temperatures will start to go down from there. But man, what a nice run we have ahead of us. I hope you all can find a wonderful, and myself included, a wonderful way to enjoy some, if not all of it.
That's going to wrap it up. We've already got news in-house, more than likely, and more than what we can squeeze into tomorrow's show, but I suspect I'll probably have more than that. We'll see you back here tomorrow night, wrapping up what will be the first day of fall under a summer sky. Good night, and thanks for watching.